It's always interesting to see how people live in other parts of the world. Sometimes they may have it better off than you do, but there are often times when people aren't in as good of a position. This is definitely one of those cases. There are over 6,000 people who call this cemetery their home in Manila. The reason why is because housing is so scarce and they have nowhere else to live. Manila's North Cemetery, the oldest and largest in Metro Manila, with an area covering 54 acres, provides the city's bottom-rung dwellers ample space to live undisturbed. Hidden from view, the cemetery is a thriving city with a vast and complex network of streets and alleys, tightly lined by tens of thousands of mausoleums and tombs. There are now basketball hoops, fast food stalls serving snacks and cigarettes to the residents, and those attending funerals or visiting loved ones. Here's one home that's housing at least 3 kids along with their mom and dad. There are karaoke parlors, restaurants, and even internet cafes. Yet this is still a fully functioning cemetery with up to 80 funerals taking place each day. Many of the cemetery residents have found work among the dead. Teenagers carry coffins for 50 Filipino pesos, which is worth about 50 American cents. Rows and rows of mausoleums line some of the streets. Children collect scrap metal, plastic, and other garbage to sell. Others look over graves, keeping them clean and protecting them from robbers who've been known to steal the bones and the ornaments off the tombs. It's hard to know when the first people moved in. Those who arrived in the 1950s say there were already lots of residents by then. It's not unusual to find some residents sleeping amongst the graves and tombstones. They use the graves as benches and tables. Clothes hang above the graves to dry, while you can see this area is very lived in. The kids don't seem entirely upset about their way of living, finding fun things to do to keep them busy and active. Here are a few people using the shade of this tree to protect them from the sun. Stone and marble sarcophaguses inside the mausoleums became beds. As you can see, this is a very expansive cemetery. Metro Manila is a bustling city with a population of around 12 million people. It ranks as the world's 11th largest metropolitan area and the 5th largest urban area by population. It's also ranked as one of the most densely populated cities in the world. It's pretty hard to imagine that there's so much poverty like this going on in the world.